The universal game. Yesterday, we planted a seed, the seed of time. The intention to return to rhythm, to remember the heart, to synchronize our inner frequency with the frequency of the universe. Today, I want to share something Gon showed me years ago, something that completely changes the way we understand reality. All of this is a game, the game of the universal mind. We will play this game of the mind. And the first rule of the game is to understand what the mind is. Everything is mind. The mind is not thought. The mind is an infinite network of connections, like the brain. The brain does not function because it thinks. It functions because it connects. Neurons communicating with one another, creating patterns, networks, circuits. Every thought you have is a network being activated. Every memory is a connection being reconstructed. The universe works the same way. Everything is mind. All of reality is an infinite network of data that does not exist within time or space, but prior to them. Physics comes afterward. Biology comes afterward. Perception comes afterward. Everything begins in an infinite cosmic mind, where each part contains the whole, like a mental hologram. Reality as a hologram. A hologram is a projection in which each fragment contains information about the complete whole. Reality functions in this way. It is a hologram written upon the mind, and that hologram is made of images. For Gon, an idea is not an abstract concept. An idea is an image. The image is the fundamental unit of the mind. The universal hologram is a continuous projection of images. These images give meaning to patterns, organize geometry, ground mathematics, sustain physical laws, allow chemical elements to exist, structure atoms, and articulate evolution. That is why in the image and likeness is not religious, it is literal. The entire universe carries an image projected from the origin, and each thing is a part that contains that image. We are holograms of an infinite mind imagining itself. The three levels of the universal mind. Gon organizes the universal mind into three levels. The subconscious, the infinite quantum ocean, the level of formless data. Here electrons are not yet electrons. They are possibility, wave, vibration without identity. Time does not exist. Space does not exist. Particles do not exist. Physics does not exist. Only infinite data combining without linear meaning. It is a quantum ocean where all probabilities are available, but nothing has yet been organized into patterns. The unconscious, the level that orders the infinite into binary code. It emerges when the infinite mind begins to organize chaos. It does not organize with meaning, it organizes with binary. From this binary arise the fundamental pairs, 1 and 0, I and am, positive and negative, proton and electron, wave and particle. This first binary creates patterns, defines laws, introduces the notion of time and space, begins to generate mass, activates the Higgs field, and produces the foundation of universal physics. The conscious, the pattern that recognizes itself. When a pattern is completed, for example, a triangle, consciousness appears. Consciousness is the instant in which a particular form says, I am a triangle, and by being this triangle, I am all triangles. It is the capacity to recognize oneself as part of the whole, expression of the whole, fractal of the whole, image of the origin. Consciousness is the point of view, the observation that defines identity, perception, meaning, sense, and narrative, the inner world and the outer world, in this game of the mind. There are two worlds that appear separate, but are projections of the same holographic network. The inner world, your perception, your rhythm, your heart, the way you feel time, process experiences, and navigate emotions and thoughts. The outer world, the network, the form, the labyrinth you navigate, the physical space, relationships, structures, everything that seems to be outside of you. But both are mirrors. What happens within is reflected without. What happens without resonates within. If your inner world is in chaos, your outer world will reflect that chaos. If your inner world finds harmony, your outer world will begin to organize as well. That is why the task of the conscious player is to navigate both worlds, knowing they are the same holographic projection of the mind. Remembering, reuniting what was separated. To remember comes from remember, to put the heart back, to reunite what was separated. When you forget something, when you lose memory, what you have truly lost is the connection to your heart, to your center, to the point where the inner and outer worlds meet. Memory is not the past. Memory is architecture. Each time you remember something, you are reconstructing a network of connections in your mind. You are reuniting parts that had been fragmented. You are remembering, literally placing the heart back at the center of the experience. That is why the path of consciousness is always a path of memory. Remembering who you are, remembering where you come from, remembering where you are going. And this remembering does not mean going back to the past. It means returning to the origin, to the point where everything was united, to the center where the heart of time beats in synchrony with the heart of the universe. The rules of the game, the 7 hermetic laws. This game has rules, laws that operate whether you are conscious of them or not. Gon showed me these laws years ago, and each time I see them operating in life, I am surprised again. They are 7 principles that govern absolutely everything, from the smallest atom to the largest galaxy, from the most subtle thought to the most solid mountain. 1. Everything is mind. The entire universe is mental. It arises from a consciousness that thinks reality into existence. 2. As above, so below. Patterns repeat at all scales. What happens in the atom is reflected in the galaxy. What happens within is reflected without. 3. Nothing rests. Everything vibrates. Everything moves at different frequencies. Matter is stabilized vibration. Thought is subtle vibration. 4. Everything has its opposite, and opposites are actually the same thing at different degrees. Heat and cold are the same thing at different intensities. Light and darkness are the same frequency at different amplitudes. 5. Everything flows and ebbs. The pendulum swings between extremes. Nothing remains static. Everything has its rhythm, its cycle, its tide. 6. Every cause has its effect. Nothing happens by chance. Every action generates a reaction. Every thought creates a consequence. Chance is causality we do not see. 7. Everything has its masculine and feminine aspect. All creation requires the union of both. The masculine projects, the feminine receives. The masculine seeds, the feminine gestates. The masculine illuminates, the feminine reflects. These laws always operate. It does not matter whether you know them, accept them, believe in them, or deny them. They operate like gravity, like electromagnetism, like the fundamental forces of the universe. We will play this game of the mind. So this year, this cycle, this adventure we are beginning together is about consciously playing the game of the mind. We will play knowing that we are part of an infinite holographic network in which each fragment contains the whole. We will play knowing that the mind has 3 levels. The subconscious ocean of all possibilities, the unconscious that orders in binaries, and the conscious that recognizes itself. We will play knowing that the inner and outer worlds are mirrors of the same projection. We will play knowing that remembering is reuniting what was separated, returning to the heart. We will play knowing that there are 7 laws governing the entire game, and that by understanding them, we can navigate reality with greater awareness. In the coming days, we will continue to discover how this game works, how its rules are calibrated, how its labyrinth is navigated, how one returns to the center. But for today, hold on to this. You are part of an infinite mind thinking itself, and by remembering that, by remembering your heart with the heart of the universe, you change the entire game. Welcome to the conscious game.